All right, back at it again. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel. All right, over here on the WingzOfNigh6. Okay, back here Ruckin with Justin. I'm on my little trail right here around my house. I gotta keep on keeping on. You know what I mean? So I've been taking a nice and easy trail, walking walking counterclockwise, and been listening to, I've been getting into, really getting into the word and really listening to myself and really meditating on my life and the things that I've experienced. So I want to get into it. I want to tell a little bit about myself. I have a maiden guardian because I don't want to consider this woman to be a mother. I know some people might say it's kind of outrageous for you to want to speak on these types of topics, but they only don't want you to speak on these topics because they're complete liars. And liars don't like you speaking on how they are lying or getting away with certain lies that they're benefiting from. So as a child, I didn't understand that. I was going with the flow of things. I didn't know what was stolen from me. I thought this was a part of life, So when you're surrounded by so many individuals that want to project onto you in any way, shape, fashion, or form that benefits them, it takes a little bit to understand what is it that they're really benefiting, So I stayed quiet for quite some time, just watching, waiting, and just observing. Really, not even watching or waiting, just observing. What is it that motivates you, individuals, to do what you do? What is it that encourages you to continue to do what you do? And what sustains you to do what you do? So it's very sad how much money means to a lot of people. Because it's not about the money. As a society, we have a hard time believing that it's not about the money. You know what I mean? So, in that aspect of not needing money, those who believe that they can live a life without needing money, those that believe that they can live a life without needing money have to deal with a lot of stringent individuals that believe that they should need the money, right? So one of the things in which that these people have been doing has been perpetually projecting onto me how much I need money and how much I need them. So that's another reason why you don't need money, because what it does, it makes you dependent on individuals that are producing that so-called money. Okay? So when you're relying on all of these individuals, because how many people does it take to make a dollar bill? You ever ask yourself that question? How many people does it take to make a penny? Obviously, it's more than one. Because if it was one, you would be doing it yourself, right? You would get all the material that you need as if you were knitting a quilt. No? So in that aspect, that we have a lot of individuals, and we have a lot. Oh, there goes one of my gang stalkers. He was all up in my grill. Okay. So I have a large network of individuals that are portraying as if they are on my team. Okay, look at this. So I'm over here at the church and I'm walking around. I just seen a crow hanging up in this tree over here, up there singing to me. And now I'm paying very much close attention to all of the spiritual connections that are around me. Maybe in this, oh, there goes another one. What's up, bud? you gotta talk to these guys. You gotta speak to them. Okay. I know you guys are gonna talk about my teeth and how the color distortion is something that I should work on, and I should be looking to get the most pearliest white teeth, but I don't want any veneers. Like, I don't want my natural teeth to look like they're veneered up. Oh no, these are ravens. Oh man, there's a lot of crows out here today. Yeah, they boys out here on my trail. Good day, good day. Okay, that one was a crow. This one, I think no, that's a crow too. You hear it? I'm just gonna walk and listen to nature. You know, just Barney out here asking everybody to clean up. I'm just a dinosaur out here asking everybody to clean up their mess. Stop throwing their trash in all of my yards. So, we moved out here when I was 6 or 7 years old, shortly after my grandfather died. I don't know. My maiden guardian has been lying to me my entire life, right? She even prevented me from joining the wrestling team because she was scared I might do some of those moves on her. That's kind of what the story was that had been instructed, that had been told to me. So, I got these guys who live up the lane here, and they leave their trash all out, like, all right, bro, if you leave your trash out, some things fall out, the trash guys ain't gonna pick it up. That's okay. But when you drag your trash can back up to your house, the proper thing to do would be to pick it up, right? Put it back in your trash, and that way next time it'll go. Nah, not these people. These people love living in trash and filth. Love living in trash and filth, but they can tell you on a property that's not yours that you might be taking care of, because I'm a landscaper. They always got something to say to landscapers, you know what I mean? Landscapers aren't important until a tree falls on your house. Landscapers aren't important until you got vines covering your entire house. So when I was younger, so-called grandfather, I think he might have been my father, I don't know, but I've been looking for a lot of answers about myself, and that's been their goal, to keep me misconstrued about myself, and to misconstrue everything of that I've been through. So I got groped at a young age. I did not get I did not get molested. I got groped. Basically, I was forced to motorboat a 18-year-old girl. She was 17. She was 17 years old, and she was, overly aggressive about getting felt up on. So I'm in this church, and I have no problem calling anybody out. Supposedly I signed some type of NDA, but it was signed under duress. I honestly know that much. Whatever NDA they said that I signed, it was under duress, it was under stress, it was under pressure from everybody in my community. Okay? It didn't matter where I walked, it didn't matter where I played, it didn't matter what sport I tried to join, it did not matter what I wanted to do. I was getting verbally attacked, and at a very young age from everybody. Didn't matter what their age was. I had young kids younger than me coming to me, oh my goodness, your mother's dead. It's just like, okay, your mother's a fiend. I think I'd rather have a mother that's passed than, even if she was a fiend. I don't know. But, and that's the problem when you're talking to a lot of these narcissist individuals. They talk backwards, upside down, and diagonally, right? So in that aspect, that means that they are talking in the aspect of what I like to call fifth person, because from my understanding is that when you're talking in first person, when you're talking in first person, you're talking about your own story. If you're talking in second person, you're talking as yourself of the other individual. Third person would be you using somebody else's name to tell their story, but through your eyes. I need to write all this stuff down, because there's a lot of aspects in which I've been thrown around about that, talking in second person, talking in third person, and stuff like that. So hopefully in my next video I'm gonna take some notes and jotting all these things down and share these things, because obviously I got gang on my ass, but it's okay, you know what I mean? Because they on the ass, but they ain't in it no more. Woo! Had to get that up out, you know what I mean? Had to take a nice little long pop on the squat. So it's really great. But so in that aspect, I was under the impression during the funeral there were a lot of conversations going on about some money, and I really noticed at that time that my so-called aunt was extremely aggressive with me. You know what I mean? This woman's 240 pounds, dang near 6 feet. And I'm 7 years old, and she, full on punching me in my chest. And it's just like, why are you doing that? I mean, you're a woman, so you don't really have the knuckles for it to hurt me. So, and it's not like you, and I'm not saying that women that practice those things don't do those things, but I mean, don't have the capabilities of hurting anybody by punching them. But I'm a tough child, you know what I mean? So in that way, yeah, that's another little gang right there, driving that Dodge. Yeah, it's okay. But it's like, why are you hitting me? Oh, to toughen you up. And it's just like, why is it so important for us as individuals to do a whole bunch of welding? Instead of me looking back, maybe I should look at the camera and see if there's anybody behind me, so I can pay attention to a little bit more than one thing at a time. There goes another one. Oh man, there's so much going on. I'm trying to be cautious, and I'm attempting to maintain frame as best as possible, because that's all you can do. There's no other way to do it. I think it's really good for you to really got to find your happy place, and finding your happy place isn't as easy as you might believe. But I believe that moving your body and not being stagnant is very important when it comes to finding your happy place. I really believe that you guys should look up that Netflix movie, Green Snake. And that is about how women are constantly berating men and breaking them down and destroying them for the simple reason that this man had boundaries and wanted to maintain these boundaries for the structure of his community and for her safety. So Disney has found the way to make light of men's defenses and men's protection, and it took that woman 100 years in the spirit realm, which was also in the real earth realm, that it took her 100 years to break down her Tao master, right? And she was going at it, but you know, they mixed up a lot of the things in there to make it seem like there was this big old ox man who had the protection of that Tao priest. I call him a priest, master. You know, he was the high one in their section. So, you know, why, you know, but that's the woman's job, supposedly. That's another thing I was told, was that's what these women are here to do. And it's just like, man, it's never going to stop. I get it now. It's never going to stop. They have, it is their natural, incestual duty to break men down. And that's why we are dealing with what we're dealing with. And that's why we are continuing to have the same conversations over and over and over and over again, right? It has no, and that's why we can't get through to them. They literally have a wall in their head that won't allow them to adhere to what a man says or to what makes sense. There's so many prevalent videos that allow us to visually and audibly see, hear what we have been experiencing, and they still would negate that they have done anything wrong, because they just want you to see another side of it. No. The problem is what you're doing. It's not about seeing the other side. When you're looking for something in the dark, don't you want a light? How are you supposed to find something in the dark? If we're already surrounded by darkness, you need the light. And we've been telling you that it's dark. You need a flashlight. And you're like, no, I can see. And we're like, no, you can't even see during the day. You can't even see during the day, and you're gonna go outside and look for something at night without a light? Let them do it. And this is where we have come to the realization, especially now, and that we have to really fall back on providing for these incestual ingrates that have the inability to see past their nose and say, I'm not cutting my nose off, but it's already been burnt to a cinch because of where you've been sticking your nose. So you don't have a nose. Yes, you still might be able to smell something, but the nose is no longer there. You can't visually look cross-eyed and see where your nose is anymore than I. You know what I mean? You just can't do it. There's no nose there anymore. There's nothing. You know what I mean? That was one of the biggest things that they were talking about with the coronavirus, right? Your inability to smell loosens, it takes away your ability to taste. And with those two senses out of the five, right? Without those two senses out of the five, the other three are weakened. People, realize the real lies. Realize the real lies. Whew. Oh, anyway, so we move out here on the hill of Zion. Amen. And supposedly I was supposed to be gone. This old man that I had been working with had been saying that. He said that more than 10 times, almost probably 100 times. You're supposed to be going. You're supposed to be going. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're supposed to be going. You're supposed to be going. When people start repeating things and are ignoring what you're saying to them, they are most likely can be labeled a narcissist, or you can label them a Digimon. Okay? And the best thing that you can do is utilize these Digimon in the best suit that will allow you to grow in life. And that's what I had to realize. Okay? I had to realize I was surrounded by a whole bunch of Digimon. And all of the Digimon had a specific skill. And with all of these Digimons that I'm surrounded by, and I had to be able to decipher or discern which Digimon would be the good Digimon for me. Whew. I had to realize that there was no good Digimon for me, and that I am my own Digimon, and I am going to control myself and only myself. But you have to also realize which Digimon can be used at any given time with the proper reins. That means that you have to know how to tie that rein right. So one day this guy called himself the workhorse, and I'm like, oh, right, so I'm riding you like a horse. Got you. Oh, but he wanted to project that he was riding me. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's okay. Anyway, we move out here. I went from an all-black Catholic school called Grace. I had a great time at Grace. I was such a free spirit at Grace, like you don't even know. I felt like a kid. I felt like I could live. It was so grand. But I got beat every day. And because of the spirit that is within me, I was able to see past the fact that these people were... I saw past the fact that these people were beating me in enjoyment. And that it took me a real long time, but because of how soft I was and how generous I was and how playful I was getting lined up in all different sorts of ways that would make me look like I'm some type of bad guy. If I heard a story of someone doing something to somebody, that's something that was done, that somebody that did that something, I was ready to run down. No problem. I didn't care how much bigger you was than me, bruh. Oh, you beating up on my little brother? Here, take this basketball to the face. You know what I mean? I put that thing in like a soccer goalie and just hurl back, throw it right at him. And that's before I played soccer, man. So, in that way, I had to learn that that's not the best way to handle your problems with people that enjoy that violence or enjoy telling on you and making the story seem a heck of a lot worse than what it actually was. So I had to learn those lessons. I had to understand that the whispers that I was hearing were true, where people were telling me that it was my maiden guardian who was instructing these people to line me up. Okay? It was the maiden guardian who was telling people to push my hairline back so that I would look ugly, right? After she would take me to go get my hair cut and things like that. It was the maiden guardian who was instructing that young lady to come pursue all of the children in that area to mess up their wires and then post it online as if that individual doesn't know where to plug things. And it's just like, no, you came back and unplugged things and mismatched them. That's not me, that's you. Everybody wants to blame me for the negative things that they're doing to me as if it's my fault, that they have to be negative to me. It's kind of like how they police people, you know? I went to the beach the one time and I went for a walk by myself without the group. The group called the cops on me. I'm like, it took me a while to realize that it was the group that called the cops on me, right? So it's okay. I ain't do nothing wrong. There was nothing you can really tag me for. But these people, you have to be careful about the people that you hang out around with, because these people call the cops on you just to make a report. Regardless if it's fake or not, the report is made and they really do hold that against you because they're demons. And demons do anything and everything to hold anything against you. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how light it is. It's anything and everything. If I walk by your house and I'm speaking too loud, now you're through the roof. You know what I mean? It's just like, geez, I think you really need to meditate and understand, why do you feel this way? Because it's something that I had to understand. Why do I feel this way when you call me a bitch? I didn't understand that. I used to just flip just because you called me a bitch. And then I had to realize, oh no, these people are not referring to me. A lot of these people that are projecting are really talking about their internal selves, how they feel, how they got mistreated, how somebody has mixed them up, and now they feel that they should take that power and do that to you. I've had somebody else tell me that those things, but you know what I mean? I'm gonna skip past that. I'm gonna keep moving forward, because what's happening, man. Yeah, he's too close. So I had to understand that, and I had to keep going through it and seeing the foolishness for what it is, right? Yeah, he's flying. Like he wanted to run up on me. So look at this. Look at this. I got a lot of spirits around me, baby. Now, I heard that this is Odin, the crows. I got 2 of them right above my mailbox. I got 2 crows right above my mailbox. And as soon as I showed you that, I had 3 sparrows fly into this yellow bush right here. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. You guys gotta really pay attention to everything that's going on around you, because there's so many small innuendos that are happening right here online. I see you guys. You're so cute. Wearing my colors and everything and acting like you're me. Oh my goodness, you're so pathetic. You, like, it's so funny how those people that really despise you and dislike you for you feeling comfortable to live in your own skin is hilarious, right? So I'm going through school, doing my thing. I met this young man, pretty boy Floyd. It wasn't Pretty Boy Floyd, so maybe I shouldn't say that, because the individual that might take that as a reference to him might believe that that's him, and it's not him, it's somebody else. So this was in 2001. I met this individual, and yeah, it was in 2001, beginning of the year, beginning of the school year. I met this individual, and we were in the same class. He was just overly excited. Poor boy was dealing with a lot, and I have a very empathetic and sympathetic heart, and I was willing to be there for that individual because I understood what it was like, because I went from basically a colorful school to a non-colorful school. And in that non-colorful school, this individual was dealing with a lot because it seemed as if somebody was putting makeup on him. I don't know if his brother was doing it to him in his sleep, or if that's how he wanted to present himself in order to attract what he was looking to attract, right? So me being the nice gentleman that I was preparing myself to be at that age, I wanted to ensure that I was an all-inclusive individual and willing to befriend anyone and everyone. So I opened my arms to this young man, young boy. And then after that, he went around telling everybody I was sweet on him. Ruined me, man. Ruined my image. I mean, it didn't ruin me. It just ruined how those around me saw me, right? I didn't really care because I knew that these people didn't really like me anyway. So any reason not to like me was a great reason not to like me. So that's fine. I'm completely fine with that. The more people that leave me alone, the merrier I'll be. And that's another thing that upsets people that feel the need to be invested in by other people. They're always looking for this extra attention. And I really was, and I really stayed and hung out with him because I wanted to understand him and the interactions that he wanted to have. Like, he was always talking about how, oh, do you like lesbians? Do you like lesbians? And it's just like, I'm not a loser like you. And I don't have to stalk people to realize that I don't like them. Like, it's really simple. and the fact that you put in so much effort to make it seem like you like somebody when you really don't, it shows how weak you are. It shows how desperate you are internally to express yourself to others. So I just wanted to share this message with you guys here, and I want to get better at speaking on camera to I want to get better at speaking on camera to my people and really getting a better grasp on what it means to be a videographer and all of those things. So I'm learning a little bit at a time. I have a lot of things going on up here and all around. So eventually I'll definitely get down to it. Just, pray for me, speak to me, be a friend. I love to hear from you guys. If you guys got any tips to experience what life is like to experience, I'll be glad to listen to them. If you guys need a friend, actually, I don't even know if I want friends anymore at this moment. At this moment, it's just gonna be somebody to know, somebody you know, and somebody you talk to, or somebody you're getting to know, and somebody that you're speaking with. I don't know how much of these people in this world can really clarify themselves as being anybody's friend, but you know, we'll get there when we get there. So I'm assuming that they were saying something about April 5th to not do any protesting or something like that. Well, this is the most protesting you're gonna see me do. I am not going to no rallies. I'm not going to no marches. I'm not going to no parades. I don't feel that it is necessary for me. You know, you see these two crows? They're hanging out together. It must be a male and female. You know, so my parents changed my name when I was younger because I couldn't remember the initial name that was given to me. I had very hard time remembering a lot of things, you know, and eventually I remembered. They kept asking me, like, what is my name? You know, look who's just in, look who's just in, look who's just in. And I was just like, I guess my name is Justin. You keep saying it. So, you know, those things. And then when I went to go buy my first vehicle on my own, make my own payments and stuff like that, I realized that they had changed my name from Justin M. Weathers to Justin C. Weathers. So in that aspect, I was asking them questions, but you know, you can't get the truth out of a liar, right? And that's exactly why our government is in the position that it's in, because we can't get the truth from these liars. And that's going to be a whole nother spiel. But thanks for rocking with Justin, and I'll catch you guys next time.